You know, Bush, most people think going to the gym automatically makes them healthier. But here's the harsh truth. More than 70% of gym goers are secretly harming their bodies without even knowing it.
Seriously? I see it every day. People grind, lift, and sweat like warriors, yet they end up injured or stuck with chronic pain.
Exactly. And what's worse, they often repeat the same mistakes for years because no one told them otherwise. Today, we're diving into 10 gym mistakes that actually damage your body, mistakes you can't afford to make.
And trust me, this isn't theory. We're talking real-world, clinical insight from years in the field. If you do even one of these wrong, your gains could come at a serious cost.
Let's start with mistake number 1, skipping your warm-up.
Ugh, this one kills me. People walk in, hit the weights, and act like their muscles or engines ready to fire. But in reality, your tendons, joints, and muscles need preparation.
Exactly. Without warming up, you risk tears, sprains, even joint inflammation. And it's not just small stuff. Sometimes it leads to injuries that take months to heal.
And the funny part, a proper warm-up takes 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes to avoid months of recovery. It's a no-brainer.
Mistake number 2, lifting too heavy too soon.
I call this the ego lift. People see someone else benching 200 pounds and suddenly they're trying to match it.
That's a disaster waiting to happen. Improper form under heavy weight crushes joints, tears muscles, and wrecks your spine.
And most never realize it's form, not weight, that drives strength. Build gradually. Think of your body like a house. You can't throw a second story on before the foundation is solid.
Which brings us to mistake 3, ignoring form.
So many people treat form like a suggestion, not a rule. Curling your back during deadlifts, knees collapsing during squats, recipe for disaster.
Exactly. One bad repetition can lead to cumulative damage, and the injury might not show up today. It could appear months later.
Invest in proper technique. Use mirrors, trainers, even video yourself. It saves you years of pain.
Mistake 4, overtraining.
The classic more is better mentality. People hit the gym 7 days a week, twice a day, and wonder why their joints ache and energy crashes.
Overtraining suppresses recovery, damages muscles, and even messes with hormones. Cortisol spikes, testosterone drops, you're literally undoing progress.
Balance is key. Muscle grows outside the gym, not inside. Rest days are your secret weapon.
Mistake 5, ignoring mobility and stretching. Mistake 5, ignoring mobility and stretching.
People skip this entirely. They think flexibility is optional, but tight muscles lead to poor movement patterns and eventual injuries.
It's subtle at first. Maybe your shoulder hurts during press, or your knee clicks during squats. Months later, it could be chronic.
10 minutes of stretching and mobility drills prevent years of joint pain, yet most people think it's boring.
Mistake 6, neglecting the core.
People train biceps, quads, chest, but skip the core. The spine's main support gets ignored.
And when the core is weak, that's when lower back pain, poor posture, and injuries happen.
Planks, anti-rotation exercises, even just engaging the core during lifts, small adjustments, massive protection.
Mistake 7, relying on machines exclusively.
Machines isolate muscles, yes, but they also limit natural movement patterns. Free weights build functional strength, stability, and coordination.
Machines can create imbalances if overused. You end up strong in one pattern, but weak where it actually matters, real life.
Think of your body like an orchestra. Machines train one instrument. Free weights train the whole symphony.
Mistake 8, neglecting nutrition and hydration.
You can train like a pro, but without fuel, your muscles and joints suffer. Dehydration alone reduces strength and recovery.
Protein, electrolytes, and timing matter. Skipping meals or relying on junk kills performance and increases injury risk.
It's simple. Muscles need building blocks, joints need lubrication. Feed them right.
Mistake 9, not listening to your body.
Pain is not weakness. Sharp joint pain, sudden twinges, these are warnings. Ignore them and you compound injuries.
Too many people push through injuries thinking no pain, no gain. The real gain is knowing to pause.
Respect soreness versus pain. Soreness fades, pain lingers.
And finally, mistake 10, skipping recovery and sleep.
This is huge. Sleep isn't optional. Growth hormones spike during deep sleep. Recovery happens in your sleep, not in fluorescent gym lights.
Overlook this and nothing else matters. Muscles tear, hormones crash, and injuries pile up.
So, the takeaway? Warm up, lift smart, respect form, rest, and fuel your body. Ignore these and your body will pay the price.
Exactly, Bush. Gym gains aren't just about sweat and effort. They're about strategy, awareness, and respect for your body.
Remember, the strongest lifter isn't the one who lifts the heaviest today. It's the one still lifting safely 10 years from now.
You know, Bush, to really drive this home, let's look at a real-life example. I recently had a patient, James, 28 years old, who came in complaining of chronic lower back pain and shoulder discomfort.
Classic. What was his gym routine like?
That's the shocking part. James was training 6 days a week, lifting heavy weights with terrible form, skipping warm-ups and barely stretching. He even ignored shoulder twinges for months.
Ouch. Sounds like a recipe for disaster. What did his exam show?
Poor posture, tight hip flexors, weak core muscles, and slight rotator cuff inflammation. Basically every mistake we just talked about, compounded over time.
Did he see results at least?
Minimal, because the body was in constant stress and overtraining mode. Muscles couldn't recover, joints were inflamed, and his performance plateaued.
So what did we do to fix it?
First, we dialed back the weight, introduced a structured warm-up and mobility routine.
You know, Bush, to really drive this home, let's look at a real-life example. I recently had a patient, James, 28 years old, who came in complaining of chronic lower back pain and shoulder discomfort.
Classic. What was his gym routine like?
That's the shocking part. James was training 6 days a week, lifting heavy weights with terrible form, skipping warm-ups and barely stretching. He even ignored shoulder twinges for months.
Ouch. Sounds like a recipe for disaster. What did his exam show?
Poor posture, tight hip flexors, weak core muscles, and slight rotator cuff inflammation. Basically every mistake we just talked about, compounded over time.
Did he see results at least?
Minimal, because the body was in constant stress and overtraining mode. Muscles couldn't recover, joints were inflamed, and his performance plateaued.
So what did we do to fix it?
First, we dialed back the weight, introduced a structured warm-up and mobility routine, core strengthening, and proper stretching. We also corrected his lifting form. Most importantly, he started listening to his body and resting when needed.
And the results?
Within 6 weeks, his back pain reduced by 70%, shoulder discomfort was gone, and he actually gained more strength safely than he did before with reckless lifting.
That's the power of training smart, not just hard. People need to understand consistency and safety beat ego lifting every time.
Exactly. James's case is a perfect illustration. Avoid the 10 gym mistakes we talked about, and your body will thank you for decades, not just months.
I hope everyone watching understands this. Gym is not a competition with others. It's a long-term investment in your health.
Couldn't have said it better, Bush. Remember, train smart, respect your body, and results will follow safely.